So what God is saying to Moses here is descriptive of the church. All right, well, welcome to Chinook Podcast. We are the Chinook Podcast, or we're on the Chinook Podcast. We're hosting the Chinook Podcast.
We're recording the Chinook Podcast.
We're recording the Chinook Podcast.
Yes, we at least everyone in this room has something to do with the Chinook Podcast.
That's right. Yes. In fact, we're all co-hosts. All right. So we are basically putting out this podcast as an expression of our desire to work for revival and reformation here in northwestern Canada and western Canada, praying and working for a movement of the Holy Spirit, bringing the Word of God into this land and sowing it deep in people's hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. It is our habit, our tradition, to do a thing at the beginning of our episodes. Does anybody here remember what that is?
Has something to
Book
do with
reviews.
book reviews.
Book reviews.
I'll let you guys start and I'll...
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to offer a brief review. My wife and I just finished reading this book. It's called The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder. David Gran wrote this book. It was about a British war ship that was sent out from Britain in the 1740. Go and capture some Spanish ships and swipe their stuff. You know, it was British foreign policy at that time had to do with piracy.
Yes,
that was their that was what they did.
Very good at it.
They were very good at it. Yes. Anyways, the Wager was one of these ships, and their field where they were supposed to go required them to go around Cape Horn on South America, which is a dangerous undertaking at the best of times. Mm-hmm. And this was not the best of times. It was the worst of times. And a whole bunch of, there was a whole flotilla of ships going. Most of them did not survive that passage. The Wager was shipwrecked on some little island off the southern Chilean coast. And it tells just it's a miserable tale of what they did to survive and of all the interactions between leadership and like official leadership and unofficial leadership. Anyways, it was quite a good tale. The Wager by David Gran.
That sounds interesting. I do like stories where people eat each other. I mean, okay, so my book review has nothing to do with that. There are certain works that are just rollicking good tales, and they should be read. And the one is a book called Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott. Now, That's
a good one.
Yeah, it is. I was looking at it the other day just for a writing project I was doing, and I was reminded again about how fine this book was. The basic idea is that this is in England during early Plantagenet rule. You've got Richard the Lionheart. He's gone off to crusade as a good Christian king does, and he's on his way back through Austria and gets kidnapped. Okay, so he's out of the picture, and England is being oppressed by bad King John. So this is the Robin Hood story, right? Yep. We're all very familiar with it. A lot of the elements of the Robin Hood story actually come to us from Sir Walter Scott's writing.
Okay.
It's and he's in the 1800s when he was writing. The basic framework of the story is you've got these evil knights running around oppressing people and stealing their stuff and kidnapping women. And so two women in particular get kidnapped, and the knights that kidnap them, one of whom is a Templar and sworn an oath of celibacy, is attempting to woo these kidnapped women, and they both fail. And then Ivanhoe, who had been off on crusade with King Richard, he comes back to England in disguise. There's almost an Odyssey-like
Right.
feel to that.
It's like Odysseus.
It's like Odysseus returning to Ithaca. He comes back in disguise and nobody knows who he is. So he comes back and he's going to right these wrongs, or attempt to. And then in the process, he winds up, by the end of the book, rescuing the women and marrying one of them. And the king comes back and he rights the wrongs on the national level. And it's just this marvelous tale with high romance, with adventure, and some fantastically rhetorically powerful dialogue, particularly in chapters 24 and 39.
A kill the dragon, get the girl kind of story.
It is very much a kill the dragon, get the girl kind of story.
No, I've never read that book. I read the classic comic when I was a child.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a whole series of those where old classic books had been comicked.
Yes.
I read those.
My sons have a version of that. It's actually a good way to get your children introduced to the themes, right? The plot points. But if you really want an appreciation for the high poetry, because one of the women,
need the book.
Yeah, one of the women that gets kidnapped, her name is Rebecca. She's a Jewess, not a Christian, right? So there's this tension. And then the man who kidnapped her, who's trying to woo her, is a Templar. He can't marry. He's sworn oaths. And he's basically offered to abandon his monastic vows for her. And she's like, "You're an idiot, no." And the way just the rhetorical force with which she completely dismantles this fellow. Oh man, like Sir Walter Scott could write. He really could. The whole thing is of an elevated style. It is very fun. Every time I read it, I'm just like, man, this is good. So anyway, I could gush for hours on that. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to just quick introduce this book that I have in my hand here. It's by Peter Leithart, entitled Defending Constantine, The Twilights of an Empire and the Dawn of Christendom. So Peter Leithart does something that's reasonably unpopular among modern-day evangelicals.
Yeah, defending Constantine.
Yeah, yeah. So he basically takes a look at the life of Constantine, draws a biographical sketch of him, but then hones in on various different aspects of the rule of Constantine that exhibited aspects of what a Christian king or emperor should be doing. And well, one of the random interesting things I remember from when I was reading this is apparently Constantine was one of the kings who initiated one of the initial laws in protection of animals from animal cruelty. And he was one of the first kings in the West who did that. And I mean, the Old Testament has some laws related to animal cruelty and protecting animals from that. So I found that really interesting.
Yep.
It's a Christian ethic in many ways.
Yeah, and all the people who say that Constantine was no Christian, ha! You should read his keynote address at the Council of Nicaea.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he presided over the Council of Nicaea too. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
When I read that keynote address, I thought to myself, how many pastors and professional theologians could deliver such a fine oration? I don't know. And here's the emperor. But Eusebius described him as a man having no neck and bulging muscles.
Yeah, so he was basically like a Joe Rogan.
Well, yeah, or more like a Jocko Willink, like just jacked out of his mind because he spent his life soldiering. But
like a Navy SEAL.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay, so
yeah,
there we
that's a great book.
we have Constantine, this ruler.
Speaking of rule,
Speaking of rule,
We are going to talk about Jethro.
we are in Exodus.
Not Jethro Bodine, but
No, not Jethro Bodine.
no,
We are in Exodus chapter 18, and here we meet a man that we met briefly back in the early part of the story when Moses fled out of Egypt when he was 40 years old. He fled out into the desert and was there met with these daughters of Jethro. Jethro's the man. He's now Moses' father-in-law, and when Israel comes up out of Egypt and they're on their way to Mount Sinai, Jethro comes out to meet them. And so we're going to take up on that story because there's lots of stuff in this passage that talk very much about leadership and in the division of labor within leadership. There's all kinds of good stuff going on in here.
Mm-hmm. Should we start with verse 1?
Yeah. Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Now Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, had taken Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her home, along with her 2 sons. The name of the one was Gershom, and the name of the other Eleazar.
Okay.
So,
First 4 verses.
So Jethro, he's a priest of Midian. I find this very, very interesting. So he's the priest of Midian. So he's like their high priest.
Yeah.
But he hears about all that the Lord has done for Israel and his people. So I wonder...
What is he the high priest of?
Yes.
Well, he's the high priest of Midian, but in what capacity? On representing whom? A priest represents somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually the priest represents the deity to the people.
Yeah.
And we've run into other foreign priests like Melchizedek.
Melchizedek was one.
Yeah. So is it...
Priest king.
Oh, the table's tipping. Is it possible that Jethro has been worshiping God for some time?
Yeah, is he a Gentile God-fearer?
Yeah, and we know that he let Moses marry his daughter, so he knows something about the true God. But this is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he's definitely struck by something going on with Moses and the people of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, when Moses was at the burning bush and God gave him the word that he needed to go down and deliver Israel, we had that story about the circumcision thing that happened.
Right, yes. You are a bridegroom of blood.
That thing happened.
Yes.
But after that, we don't hear about Zipporah and the sons down in Egypt because apparently Moses sent them back to Jethro.
Which is kind of that's
interesting.
Prudent. It's interesting but prudent.
Yeah.
He when Moses goes down to Egypt, he does not know, I think, whether or not he will live.
Yeah, he doesn't know the outcome of this, and he doesn't really want to take his wife and sons to war.
So Zipporah and the sons didn't actually come with them out of Egypt.
It appears not.
Huh,
it appears not because he comes out to meet them after they come out with the whole body that comes out of Egypt and is on their way to the mountain of God, where God is going to deliver the law to them. And he comes to meet them with Zipporah and Moses' 2 sons.
Yeah, so this is shortly after the crossing of the Red Sea. We've had the chapter 17 where the people started quarreling about water, and they got water from the rock, which we find out later was Christ. We've got Israel getting ambushed by and then defeating Amalek.
Yeah.
And then we have Jethro bringing Zipporah and his sons.
Well, we have a Gentile foreigner priest seeing everything that's happened up until this point and praising God. So verse 9, you see that Jethro rejoiced for all the good that the Lord had done to Israel. Mm-hmm. So it leads him to praise.
Yes. And this right here should make you think back to Abraham, in whom all the nations of the earth shall be blessed.
Yes. Those who bless you, I will bless, and those who curse you, I will curse.
Yeah, and here's Jethro blessing.
And being blessed.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And being blessed.
And being blessed, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. He comes with Moses' sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness where he was encamped at the mountain of God. So they've arrived in this area where Mount Sinai is.
Yep.
That's the reference to the mountain of God.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where Jethro comes to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you remember, if you remember, it was on the slopes, I think, of that mountain where Moses saw that burning bush, right?
Yes.
So Moses was out pasturing the sheep, which means that Jethro lived somewhere near there,
Yeah, he's not far off.
right? He doesn't live very far away from that place.
Yeah. This is really fun too. When Jethro comes, he sent word to Moses in verse 6. I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons with her. And Moses goes out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare and went into the tent. Like, this is just a marvelous little family.
Yeah.
How you doing? Check out all these people.
I wonder if Moses was really tall.
I don't know.
He bowed down and kissed him.
It's possible. I mean,
He kisses, get down on his knees and kiss his hand or kiss his feet or.
or are these 2 separate actions?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. So then Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake. Oh, so first off, it says after they asked of their welfare, and they went into the tent.
You know, it was probably
Just
how long do you think it took for those plagues to run their course?
yeah, I don't know.
Because it
Several
it
weeks.
might have been like a 3-month absence, maybe.
Yeah, like
It wasn't all that long.
he wasn't gone for terribly long.
Probably wasn't.
At the minimum, several weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now Moses is filling in Jethro on all of this stuff. All that the Lord has done to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way,
Yeah.
and how the Lord had delivered them. And then Jethro, verse 9, rejoiced for all the good the Lord had done to Israel.
Jethro was like, man, when you picked my daughter and married her, that I was not expecting this.
Yeah. No, I thought I was getting a strong fellow and a shepherd. And what I got was a father of a nation. So now Jethro, when he, in verse 10, he blesses the Lord. He praises God.
Yeah.
And we have recorded for our benefit this exaltation, this prayer. Verse 10, Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of the Pharaoh, and has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods, because in this affair they dealt arrogantly with the people. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices to God, and Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. So this is even before the establishment of all the sacrifices.
Yeah.
But Jethro, who is not an Israelite, brings a sacrifice, offers it to God, and they have a communion meal with God.
Yeah.
All the elders,
Along with Aaron and with all the elders of Israel.
yeah. This is really interesting.
Right.
Well, it's kind of what Melchizedek and Abram did too.
Yes.
The Feast of Bread and Wine.
And if you thought that the law was somehow superior to faith, I don't know.
Right. So in the Melchizedek case, there you've got a local priest king in Jerusalem who's doing this, who honors God, who honors the true God. And here we have Jethro, who's a priest also, like Melchizedek, and he also honors God.
Yep.
And it's before the giving of the law. It's just before the giving of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating to think about how God seems to have seeded his world with priests in those days. Remember Joseph? Joseph goes to Pharaoh. Pharaoh exalts him. He gives him a wife, Potipharah, the daughter of the priest of On. The priest of On. The priest of, well, that's a place. But here's one of these priests.
Yep.
Whose daughter, she's, you don't get the idea she's a rank pagan.
Yeah. No, she becomes a mother in Israel.
Becomes a mother in Israel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you get a similar thing here with Zipporah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting, too, reading this story in light of Hebrews, especially chapter 7, talking about Melchizedek. You give, see how great this man was to whom Abraham the patriarch gave a tenth of the spoils, right? So one of the things that Paul is saying in Hebrews is that Melchizedek, his priestly order is prior to the Levitical.
Yes.
Because Abraham, who is the grandfather of Levi,
Mm-hmm.
or great-grandfather of Levi,
Yeah.
like he's the one giving the tithe.
Levi was in the loins of Abraham.
Yeah, he was a twinkle in his great-granddaddy's eye. He didn't exist. And
Yeah.
so then this is analogous to the priesthood of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
We've got in chapter 18 here, Jethro, high priest of Midian. He's also prior to Levi. I mean, Levi exists.
Right.
The tribe of Levi.
The tribe of
exists.
Levi is present.
Yeah, Moses is a Levite.
Yeah.
And so is Aaron. But the Aaronical priesthood has not yet been invested.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's offering a sacrifice with a meal, a sacrificial meal.
Yeah.
Prior to
Yeah, and Aaron, the later high priest, is present.
Yeah, he's present.
He's in particularly named.
Yes. So I find this very interesting that that this is happening. And it makes me think of Melchizedek, which makes me think of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That we are talking about a superior or a prior priest and priesthood. I find it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a connection here.
Yeah, I think so too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jethro and Moses catch up, chew the fat for the evening. Moses tells them all the stuff they've faced, all the troubles they've been in. And Jethro says, "Wow, man, the Lord is great," and so forth. And they go off to sleep. Wake up the next day. The next day happens. Moses gets up and he sits to judge the people. And it says, the people stood around Moses from morning till evening.
And then Moses' father-in-law gets worried that his daughter is not spending enough time with her husband.
That's probably in the back of his mind, at least.
Yeah. I'm only ever going to have 2 grandsons out of you if you don't stop this.
You need to spend more time with your wife.
So now this is interesting. When he saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone and all the people stand around you from morning till evening?" He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, what is
Come
this
on,
business?
Yeah. And then Moses said to his father-in-law, and this is verse 15, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God, when they have a dispute, they come to me, and I decide between one person and another, and I make them know the statutes of God and his laws."
Mm-hmm. Didn't God put me in charge of that kind of thing? I mean, he did.
He did, yeah.
So interesting thing, I make them know the statutes of God and his laws. The 10 Commandments had not been given yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, just to point that out quick.
Yeah, unless chapter 18 is out of chronological order.
I don't think it
I
is.
don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I think this is prior.
Yeah. So when he's talking about the laws and statutes of God, he's talking about something else, what they know.
Yeah.
From the patriarchs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a great deal in the law, in the 10 Commandments given from Sinai by God, that those listeners, they could have, had they been not overwhelmed and terrified by the sound, they could probably have said, okay, I learned that from Abraham, and I learned that from Noah, and I learned that from
Jacob.
Yeah.
So
they could have done that.
Yeah, because the 10 Commandments are delivered by Moses from the mountain.
Yeah.
But the entire law code is given in this time period. So
Right.
You've got the book of Leviticus, for example. Most of Deuteronomy is at the end of Moses' ministry. Numbers has stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
But a lot of Leviticus is very early, and everything from the Ten Commandments forward in Exodus
Yeah.
is from the mountain.
Yeah.
So you've got laws in there, for example, about not taking a woman and her sister as your wives.
Right.
And if you were meditating on the story of Jacob,
Yeah.
you'd be thinking, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Look at all the trouble.
Look at the trouble. So the stuff that Moses is talking about, a lot of it. Now, it may not be the Ten Commandments directly because
Right.
those haven't been given yet, but the rest of the law, which is given
Right.
when they are at the mountain.
Okay. So if you are prior to the giving of the law, and you know, like, it's not like you needed that law to tell you that adultery's wrong.
Right. Well, you should.
Well, maybe, but it's muddy. It's like
It's not clear.
it's not clear.
Yeah, but in the Ten Commandments, it becomes very clear.
In the Ten Commandments, it becomes very clear. That's exactly right. That's what I was after. That that in the days previous, when this matters when we're dealing, for instance, back with Abraham in Genesis 16, and he's dealing with Hagar. Yeah, when he's dealing with this sort of thing, if we go back to that passage and we chew Abraham out for his adultery or
Right.
for taking a second wife or what have you, I suppose there's ways in which Abraham would have known that. And understood that principle.
But how clearly?
But not clearly. It wasn't nearly made so clear as it was later.
And then you move forward even in biblical revelation.
Yeah.
Things become more clear yet.
Yes.
I mean, we get to the New Testament where a lot is very clear that was not as clear then. Things are, the revelation of God is progressively increasing in clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's a good point about this. I think Jethro is kind of looking around at all these people now litigating each other. This is a series of lawsuits that Moses is dealing with.
Right. Yes. And he's having to deal with disputes between people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's very litigious. So,
okay. So what Jethro exposes to Moses? Hey, that rhymes. Exposes to Moses.
Whose toes are roses.
oh boy.
What he exposes to Moses is the bottleneck that's being created by the guy who's been given charge, not knowing how to delegate the responsibilities that God has given him, and not knowing how to do that rightly.
Yeah. So Jethro says, what you are doing is not good. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out, for this thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it alone. Now obey my voice. This is interesting. He speaks very authoritatively.
Oh, yeah.
He does not recommend anything.
Yeah.
He says, now obey my voice. He's speaking to an 80-year-old man who's his son-in-law. Now obey my voice. I love it. It's great. I will give you advice, and God will be with you, and God be with you. You shall represent the people before God and bring their cases to God, and you shall warn them about the statutes and the laws and make them to know the way in which they must walk and what they must do. Moreover, look for able men from all the people, men who fear God, who are trustworthy and hate a bribe, and place such men over the people as chiefs of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens.
So you've already got qualifications like 1 Timothy 3.
Yeah. But this is interesting. You've got a separation of duties that he's lining out here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moses will represent the people to God, and these able men who fear God will represent God to the people, in a sense, because they're the ones who are going to interpret the law.
Right.
So there's a division of duty here.
Exactly. So Moses, he gets this word from God, teach these people.
Yeah.
Teach these people. But there's so many of these people. There's lots and lots and lots of them. And so they're waiting all day long to talk to Moses and wasting their time, they're twiddling their thumbs, wondering when they're ever going to get to talk to Moses.
Yeah.
And that's creating problems by itself, right?
But now with these able men, he instructs them in the law.
Yeah.
They can instruct the people in the law.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got thousands, 50s, and 10s. You've got this this hierarchical breakdown. It strikes me that Jethro is the very first Presbyterian.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
I can see that.
Yep.
The proto-Presbyterian.
the proto-Presbyterian, yeah.
Yeah, this is the background to the New Testament Presbyterian system.
It is, yeah. When Paul's leaving Titus in Crete or sending Timothy out, and he's instructing them to, appoint elders in every place.
Yeah,
right.
There's basically a whole bunch of little Moseses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
Paul is
there's
playing Jethro.
There's a division of labor.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a division of power?
It appears that there is a division.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's talking with God, and he's bringing any case to God that pertains to him.
Okay.
So Moses is functioning like the Supreme Court should, like the highest appeals court, as it will, but also the direct intermediary between the people and God. But you've got these other fellows who are placed over the people as chiefs, and let them judge the people at all times.
And so the kind of things that they're supposed to judge are the sort of things that people are bringing to Moses, where they've got disputes with one another.
Yeah. So
those are the kind of things that the judges are supposed to take on.
Yes, and it's the great matters. Every great matter they shall bring to you, but any small matter they shall decide themselves. So it will be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. If you do this, God will direct you, and you will be able to endure, and all this people will also go to their place in peace. Mm-hmm. So this is good for Moses. This is good for Israel. This wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah. Delegation.
Yeah, in how to organize your society.
Mm-hmm. And we even do this in small ways, like in the family.
Okay.
Right? Like myself, I have certain responsibilities.
Yeah.
The responsibilities of provision, for example, right? My wife has other responsibilities that align with her nature. Mm-hmm. Like we have a 7-month-old daughter right now. I do not have any responsibility for nursing my daughter. I am not plumbed with the hardware to accomplish the task. Mm-hmm. So this is a task that my wife naturally assumes. Yeah. But then we might decide to delegate. Let's say I have a dispute with my phone service plan provider.
Okay.
So who's going to deal with that? Right. So now I can say, well, my wife is busy. Yeah, I'll give that to my 14-year-old daughter. Yeah, my wife is busy. I don't like talking to these people on the phone. I'll give it to my daughter. Or, well, I wouldn't do that, but you can split the duty up.
Right.
And because if I'm doing all the duties and my wife isn't doing any of the duties, then I'm burned out and I'm not able to stand back and lead. If I dump all the duties on her, then I'm being lazy and not leading effectively.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, the dishes, we okay, Walt, you're 7, you can empty the dishwasher without complaining and without wrestling.
Right.
Anyway, like the division of duty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in a church, as a church grows, you need more men to lead.
Yep.
You need more men to be able to resolve disputes when they arise in a congregation.
Yeah.
Because if it all falls on one man, then
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also another help in that is if you've got a multiplicity of elders and a dispute arises, as they do, then when the elders sit down and they decide we're going to do X, Y, or Z, the disputing parties, they're not looking at one man as being
right.
In a multitude of counselors, there is much safety.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the proto passages that enable us or that teach us the plurality of elders
Yeah.
is necessary.
Yeah. And
Where it's not just the one guy. It's not just Moses who's supposed to be operating this show. There's supposed to be a multiplicity of elders with a variety of duties.
Yeah.
This is something clearly that's been forgotten in the evangelical world, where the pastor is the center of the show.
The pastor is the CEO.
Like he's he's the guy.
Yeah, CEO.
And it's like he's Moses, and boy, does he ever need a Jethro to explain some things to him.
Yep.
Or there's a
Use your people.
or there's a deacon board where all the money men in the congregation direct everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is another weird idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got. Yeah, and there's another thing too. You mentioned earlier the moral qualifications for these men are listed.
Yeah.
Right. They fear God, trustworthy, hate a bribe. Like it's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's not very many requirements.
But it's actually kind of profound.
But it is deep.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to read Deuteronomy 1, verse 15 to 18 for a minute, because I think it lists more of the qualifications. So I took the heads of your tribes, wise and experienced men, and set them as heads over you, commanders of thousands, commanders of hundreds, commanders of 50s, commanders of 10s, and officers throughout your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time, hear the cases between your brothers, and judge righteously between a man and his brother, or the alien who is with him. You shall not be partial in judgment. You shall hear the small and the great alike. You shall not be intimidated by anyone, for the judgment is God's. And the case that is too hard for you, you shall bring to me, and I will hear it. And I commanded you at that time all the things that you should do. So there's justice. Justice in the world begins with God's chosen people.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a very good connection, because Moses is explaining in Deuteronomy 1 what's going on here in Exodus 18.
Yes, I was reading through. It was either Calvin or Rutherford just the other day on this passage. And he points, I think it was Rutherford, points out, for the judgment is God's. Because he's talking, in that context, he's talking about the lesser magistrate being permitted to restrain the evil of the greater, which is a Christian doctrine.
Yeah.
And he drew it from this passage because he said that the judgment is God's. Moses did appoint these judges, right? But these are not Moses' judges. These are the Lord's judges.
Right.
They're interpreting God's law for God's people, and the judgment is the Lord's.
Yeah.
So,
when that delegated judge, when he makes a judgment for this between this guy and this guy, what he says is the word of God to those guys.
Yes, especially in this passage in terms of righteous judgment, not a wicked judgment, but a righteous judgment is the Lord's. So that's actually a very interesting point when talking about modern political problems that we've been having in Alberta, for example, where our premier has rebuked our prime minister very directly for harming the interest of our nation in regards to our trade agreements with the Americans. So, and she's been called a traitor for so doing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and
I've had people contact me privately and tell me that our premier is a traitor.
Yeah, but nothing could be further from the truth. For the judgment is the Lord's.
Yeah.
This Deuteronomy 1 and Exodus 18 also refers to civil organization. And if the judges appointed by Moses, if their judgment is the Lord's, and we read in Romans that God appoints our civil magistrates, and we pay taxes for them to perform their duties, and that civil magistrate is the minister of God's wrath, then it appears to me that the judgment of our civil magistrates is also the Lord's.
Yeah.
So
no human authority is absolute.
Yeah.
Absolute authority belongs to God.
Yeah. So this ties straight into that doctrine of the lesser magistrate, right? The lesser magistrate has the authority to rebuke the greater because the lesser is not the creature of the greater. The lesser is the creature of God. Yeah. Just like the greater.
And that's why it's so important that this be a man who is not partial to the rich or to the poor,
Yes.
and who fears God and not man.
Yeah, because if you fear God, or if you are partial, or if you're bribable,
If they can pay you to say something different,
the judgment becomes very perverse and wicked.
Yeah.
And the people suffer. So you should definitely check out the Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrate. It comes straight out of an interpretation of these passages.
Yeah.
And also the way we organize civil government. I mean, you've got like the king, a federal power with a parliament, but there's a subset of that is the cabinet, which is the actual government. The cabinet is the government, not parliament. But then you've got the parliament, and then you've got the Senate, and then you've got, at the provincial level, legislatures with the lieutenant governor. And you've got a division. You've got the division. At the top division, the governor of 35 millions.
Yeah.
And in the provincial, governor of 4 millions. And
you got provinces and municipalities.
You get the mayor, governor of 64 thousands. And
So there's there are, in broad sweeps, the ways in which Western culture has learned to organize her political structures grew out of this passage.
We are all Presbyterians now. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Calvinism has had a impact on modern Western governments.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it has. This is really interesting. We're talking about all sorts of things: church government, family government, civil government, and the delegation of duty.
Right. So Moses,
what did he do?
Moses hears all this not suggestion, but listen to what I say.
Yes, young
from
man.
Jethro. But he pays attention.
He does.
He doesn't toss this off. It says here that Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, chiefs of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. And they judged the people at all times. Any hard cases they brought to Moses, but any small matters they decided themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wonder if Moses is supposed to choose these men. Did he choose every man on every level?
I don't know. Maybe.
I wonder how that worked.
He probably had a committee.
He probably did, because he probably had trustworthy men around him who knew what was going on in the tribe of Simeon way better than he did.
Yeah. So he would get that guy.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, who?
Yeah. Who are your guys? Oh, tribe of Simeon, and the leader, who's named later.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We have a list of these.
He's named later. Well, he would have a way better idea of what of who would be the right guys.
Yeah. Like Bob, no good. John, pretty good.
Yeah. John will work. Bob,
no.
No, you could bribe Bob easily.
Yeah.
So not him.
In fact, I did it last week. So now this verse 27. Jethro goes home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives this marvelous advice. He starts Presbyterianism. He begins constitutional monarchy, and lays the foundation for all modern political theory.
Then he cuts out.
And then he just
And he goes home.
He goes home.
Yes.
This guy's great.
He's sort of George Washington-ish.
Right, a Cincinnaticus.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I did my duty. I'm off.
Yeah, I'm off. Back to my farm.
Yeah. World's best father-in-law.
Yeah, he showed up. He had a good time. They had a barbecue. They worshiped God together. He fixed the problem, and then he leaves. This is marvelous. Yeah. Be a father-in-law like that. Yeah. Okay, so
okay, let's move along. We'll move into chapter 19, I think.
Yes. Now this is the beginning of the account of what happens at Sinai.
On the third new moon after the people of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt. This is 3 months. 3 months later, on the day They came out into the wilderness of Sinai. They set out from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai. And they encamped in the wilderness. Now, it seems to me that it's here when Jethro comes to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they're encamped here before the mountain. So them arriving in there in 19 verses 1 and 2, it actually happens a little bit prior to Jethro coming to them, because it talks about when they moved there, and it was 3 months after they got out of Egypt.
Yeah. So they encamped before the mountain. So Israel encamped before the mountain while Moses went up to God.
Yeah.
So he goes up the mountain, and the Lord called to him out of the mountain, saying, "Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob and tell the people of Israel, you yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all peoples, for the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the people of Israel." So there's a couple of things here. Yes.
Yeah, there is.
That exact language is transferred to the church in 1 Peter 2, verse 9 to 10. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. So what God is saying to Moses here is descriptive of the church.
Yeah, it is.
This is the Old Testament church.
This is. Do not forget that point.
I think I made that clear now.
I think you did. Excellent. And that, marvelous. But it starts on a mountain. This is interesting. We've got a lot of mountain imagery in Genesis.
Yeah.
And now we've got some more mountainy things.
Yeah, Moses goes up on the mountain where the Lord calls him. The Lord called to him out of the mountain. Well, first Moses went up, right?
Yeah, he goes up.
Moses goes up. The Lord calls to him out of the mountain.
Yes.
Eden was on a mountain.
It was. Are we looking at a new creation?
Oh.
Do you know Eden had to have been on a mountain,
Yes,
and
it did.
Obviously we know why, because water flows down, right?
Normally. Yeah.
Yes. So 4 rivers divided there and flowed out to the 4 corners of the earth, or wherever the rivers went, which means Eden was on a high place.
Yes.
Okay. So Eden was on a mountain, and Moses goes up on a mountain, and God speaks to him there. So there's some kind of connection going on that we need to keep in mind, even if it's not the forefront of our minds. We need to keep that in mind, because because the way the Lord seems to reveal himself is in these different patterns and types that just keep showing up. They keep showing up. And God intends for us to understand things about him and about his ways by considering these things.
Yeah, so you just spoke about the church, Nathan. Jesus also ascends a mountain and also delivers the law.
Yeah.
In Matthew 5. 5 through 7.
And then also the Mount of Transfiguration.
Yeah. So there's
that's a very Moses-like thing.
Yes.
Right? He goes up on the mountain. Moses goes up.
Well, he even meets Moses on the Mount of Transfiguration.
He does.
Too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And that's the first time Moses actually enters the promised land. But
first time we ever see him there.
yeah,
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, he enters the
I
promised.
never thought of that.
Yeah, he enters the promised land in Christ.
Wow.
And that I think is actually what's going on at the Mount of Transfiguration.
Yeah,
That's really
very
cool.
good.
But anyway, in this case here, we've got the beginning of the Constitution of Israel as the people, the royal priesthood of God.
Well, it's interesting because they're civically constituted in chapter 18 with the rulers and the judges.
Yeah.
But then God basically crowns that with his blessing here.
Yeah, and they shall be, he says, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation.
Kingdom of priests and a holy nation. That's interesting.
Yes.
He says in here, God says to Moses when he's speaking to him, You shall be my treasured possession among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. He says, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. When God is developing all this stuff that goes on in the Old Testament, where it seems when you come down from Babel, or you come down from the flood, you come to Babel and things get scattered. And the world is scattered, and out of that, God picks out one man, and he starts teaching Abram, and starts working through Abram, and he works through Abram's family, and Abe's family eventually expands, and pretty soon you've got Jacob, and he's got 12 sons, and they go down to Egypt. It's like the womb. The womb for the nation of Israel is Egypt. They go down in there, and after a time, when they're ready to come out. Hey, isn't that a womb word?
Yes.
When they come out,
a new birth.
They're constituted Israel, and we can get so focused on Israel that we forget what God is doing in the grand scale. And what God is doing in the grand scale is bringing about his Messiah, who is going to win the world.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that you use the words of womb and birth.
Yeah.
Especially in the light of John 3.
Yeah.
Where Jesus talking to Nicodemus says, you got to be born again.
Yeah.
Nicodemus is like, bro, what? I'm going to just jump in my mom again. And Jesus like, come on, man. You should have known what I'm talking about from the law.
Yeah.
From the law, from this.
This is, it's a typological point that Jesus rebukes Nicodemus for not getting.
Yeah.
You need to be thinking along these lines. Because I tell you, you must be born again, he says.
Yeah.
Well, there's you cannot find chapter and verse in the Old Testament that says, well, you must be born again. Well, no, you can't, but you can find it in pictures all over the place.
Yes.
In the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And this is one of those places.
Yeah, and in the prophets too, God refers back to this moment as being, I found you in your blood.
Yeah. In Ezekiel.
In Ezekiel, yes. Squalling on the floor.
Yeah.
And I picked you up and cleaned you off and fed you and made you mine. And this is the birth of Israel.
Yeah.
This is the new birth. The not the first new birth, I think, because we have that, I think, in Noah. Yeah. But this is a new birth.
Yes, it is. It's a prototype. It's a picture of that which is to come.
Yes. And
which God loved to do. He made these pictures, picture after picture after picture of that which is coming later.
Yeah.
Well, and you see all the little developments happening, because in Genesis 12, it's just Abram, and God gives that kind of seed promise. And then you've got things develop a little further with Isaac, but then things really start developing with Jacob. And then they're in Egypt and they're in slavery, but then they come out of slavery, and now you really see them forming as a nation and not just a family anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that becomes internationalized in the new covenant.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. But God takes this nation and he says of them, you shall be to me a kingdom of priests.
Yeah.
And a holy nation. A priest represents God to people, and he also represents the people to God. Yeah. That runs both directions, and that's the task that Israel is being given.
Yes.
You're the priest of the world, Israel. You each individually are priests and part of a holy nation, and your purpose as such is reaching the world.
Yeah, you are supposed to be that mediating presence between God and man.
Yes.
And this is actually a picture that is picked up in Hebrews, referring to the priesthood of Christ.
Yes.
That his priesthood is superior for a variety of reasons, which we'll get to. But it's similar, greater imagery. Yeah. So now, Moses came and called the elders of the people and set before them all these words that the Lord had commanded him.
Yeah.
And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. And Moses reported the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, behold, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you and may also believe you forever. So this covenantal arrangement
Yes.
is laid out before the people, and they assent to it.
Yes, there's something going on here that's God is in making this covenantal arrangement with Israel. It's like there's vows being spoken.
Yes.
What covenantal arrangement that you're aware of has vows being spoken that we still do?
Marriage.
Yep.
Marriage. Ezekiel 16 points back to Sinai as the time when God married
Israel.
his bride,
Yep.
Israel.
Yeah.
So there's
Yep.
this is think wedding ceremony. Think preparations for a wedding when you're reading chapter 19 of Exodus.
Yes. And this glory cloud. I will come to you in a thick cloud.
Mm-hmm.
This should remind. Cloud is moisture, moisture consolidated. This should remind you of the Spirit of the Lord hovering over the waters of the deep.
Mm-hmm.
There's a division that is made in Genesis 1 between the land and the air, between the waters,
Okay.
upper and lower. There's this division now being made between Israel and the world, because Israel is now that priesthood nation.
Yeah.
The world is not yet a priesthood nation. The world doesn't become that until in the church.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got these. It reminds me of the Spirit dividing.
Okay.
Waters below, waters above. Right. So, whenever I think of the cloud, I'm going backwards to that, but also forwards. There's other cloud imagery. When we finally get to the final, like they finish building the tabernacle and they're ready to start worshiping in it, and the cloud descends, and Moses has to basically run out the door
Get out of there.
because he can't see, he can't breathe. It's a thick, dense, same thing happens to Solomon.
Right. Yes,
At
at Solomon's temple.
Yeah, at the inauguration of worship there, they're sacrificing. Solomon offers up this marvelous prayer, this dedication, and then they get started, and the Lord inhabits the temple. He inhabits the praises of his people, as it were. He comes into the temple and
Drives the priests out.
he drives the priests out because he is too holy.
Yeah.
Now, when we get to Christ, he, being our high priest, ascends into the temple. He isn't driven out by the glory cloud.
Yeah.
He, being that glory, can inhabit that temple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And in him we can inhabit that temple.
yeah,
too.
in him we are in that temple. Yeah. So there's a lot of this thread of biblical imagery from front to back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think another important thing here is within this whole idea of covenanting is that God comes as the king of all the universe, and he plunders Egypt. He delivers his people. So they're basically a conquered foreign nation who are under the rule of the Pharaoh, and now he's bringing them under his rule.
Mm-hmm.
And so this whole scene here is God as the king of all the universe, bringing his people into subjection to him.
Yeah, and that also ties into marriage and wedding imagery, because a woman, when she is married, she leaves the covenant establishment of her father and is joined to that of her husband. And Israel's moving from the old world into the new world right now. So there's this new covenantal arrangement,
A new allegiance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this points forward to Christ. When you move from death to life, you're moving from the covenantal arrangement of death to that of life. You're moving from your paganism perhaps, or from atheism or whatever, and you're converted to Christ, you have a new husband, you have a new name, you are a new creation, a new creature, part of a new people. There's a shift. You're going from the covenant of death to life, just like Israel here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of preparations that are necessary
Yes.
for this for the declaration of marriage that is about to take place.
Clean garments,
So
clean clothing.
go to the people. Oh, just a minute. Let's back up here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Moses goes up to the mountain.
Yeah.
God speaks to him. He comes back down, talks to the elders. He goes back up, talks to the Lord. The Lord says, "Go back down and tell them this." And then Moses goes back down, and then he tells them this, and then he goes back up, and then God says, "Go back down and tell." I think Moses must have been a pretty fit old fellow.
He must have been.
Yeah, going up a mountain and down a mountain.
Up and down and up and down.
Yeah, he was getting his steps in. So then the Lord says to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments and be ready for the third day.
So clean garments, that's a sign of a wedding.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. And we have a third day here.
We have a third day.
And do not go near a woman. So that's a sign of purity.
Yep.
Sexual purity.
Yes. So this is a third day thing, and this is a clean garment thing. So now where do we have clean garments in the New Testament?
So,
In Revelation.
Yeah.
yeah. And they're often connected with weddings in the Gospels.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're either wearing the right clothing or not the right clothing. Or,
Right, in the parable of
That's right,
the wedding feast. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jesus in Revelation 2 and 3 gives us white linens.
Yeah. That was what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Originally. The this wedding garment imagery.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a dirty bride into a virgin bride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's a lot here that the Lord is showing us in pictures. And there's also the third day thing.
Yes.
The third day again. I do like third
What
day.
has happened previous to this with third days?
Yeah.
Because they continue to happen, and they
They do.
particularly happen after the giving of the law. There's all kinds of things in the law that talk about on the third day
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and on the seventh day you need cleansing,
Yes.
or and such happen on the third day.
Yeah, there's a lot of third days. And then, of course...
Well, Genesis 1, there's something created on the third day.
Yeah, what would that be?
I'm trying to remember. I should probably know.
And a teacher in Israel. Well, we'll all Google things.
And God's... Okay. So... And God said, "Let earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit, which is in their seed, each according to its kind on the earth. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit, in which is their seed, each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the third day."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Okay.
we're planting something.
And not just any old thing. We're planting the sort of seed that bears fruit. That has seed in itself. So it's all these food plants. It's food and wine plants are growing, bread and wine plants.
Yeah. And then you've got...
on day 3.
Israel is a fruitful vine.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Jesus talking about Israel in terms of a vine. Much later, I am the vine, you are the branches.
Right.
Yeah, so I think there's that. The third day is especially connected with the resurrection of Christ.
Yes, it is.
And with other resurrections as well.
Yeah.
Or resurrection types.
Yes. In the end of Judges, that whole war with Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, the third day was disaster.
For Benjamin, yes.
For Benjamin.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was. Because there was a judgment.
Yeah.
Death and resurrection is already presented in Hosea chapter 6, where it says, in the "Come, let us return to the Lord" passage, and it says, for 2 days we will, and then on the third day he will raise us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Leviticus, we're told that what remains of the flesh of the sacrifice on the third day shall be burned up, and that's referring to the guilt offering.
Okay.
Yeah, so the guilt offering includes, or no, sorry, that's the grain offering. Yeah, the grain and the peace offering. So anything that's left after 3 days, like you got to get rid of it.
Okay. So these guys are prepping for this third day, and it's on the third day when the Lord is going to come down on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear the giving of the law. That all happened on a third day.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of connections that can be made in the scriptures, and that I'm pretty sure this is the sort of connection the Lord wants us to pick up on.
Yeah.
And I'm taught that particularly by how Jesus spoke to Nicodemus that day.
Yep.
There are things like this that need to be paid attention to if you are going to understand what Jesus said when he said, you search the scriptures because in these you say you have eternal life, but these are they that testify of me. Mm-hmm. When he's talking about how he shows up all over the place in the Old Testament, and it's given us in pictures, and it's given us in types. It's given us in all these sorts of things that we really need to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then we, once we get the command for the third day that the Lord will come down, he says in verse 12, and you shall set limits for all the people all around.
Okay.
Saying, take care not to go up to the mountain or touch the edge of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot. Whether beast or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain.
To the mountain, but not touch it.
Yeah.
So there's constantly distance being created here, and the distance is being created again in verses 21 to 25.
Yeah.
And that's a distance that goes away in the New Testament.
Yes.
In Christ.
Yeah, and it's necessary in the Old Covenant, like you're saying about pictures and types. It's necessary in the Old Covenant to demonstrate that distance. The distance between God and man is it's a distance created by sin. God is holy, we are not.
Yeah.
That distance, like you said, it is erased in Christ because now we are in Christ and brought in him up to God.
Yes, and God's intention is to remove that distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's pointing it out and loud and clear here.
It's a deadly distance.
It's a deadly distance.
Yes.
This is what sin does. Sin, Adam's sin in the garden, there are ways that we can look at that and you think, well, it's such a small thing. I mean, what did he do? I mean, he ate fruit and now then it wrecked everything. Mm-hmm. Well, how did that happen?
Yep.
Well, the distance that is created by sin from God, okay, it creates distance between. And that's one of the big projects that God is doing in Israel and doing in the scriptures is working his way to the point where that can be addressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that can be addressed in Christ when the Messiah comes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the holy things are deadly things.
Holy things are deadly things.
Yeah.
That's a good saying.
So holy things are still deadly things. Sunday worship is still dangerous. Mm-hmm. But when we enter worship in and through the blood of Christ, then we're protected from the holiness and the wrath of God.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where Paul says we can enter now the holy place with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you can still eat and drink damnation to yourself in the new covenant.
Right? Yeah, the warnings for apostasy are very real.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are real. And that's a good thing to always keep in the front of our minds when we come to worship.
Mm-hmm.
That like when you sing imprecatory psalms, as a good Christian should, and you sing that the Lord would rain down from heaven upon The evildoer. Well, if you're the evildoer, then you're calling judgment on yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's a fact.
Our God is a consuming fire.
Yeah.
It says in Hebrews.
Yeah. A God who is angry with sin every day.
In Psalm 5,
Yep.
it says that.
Yep. And if a man will not turn his sword, he will sharpen.
Yep.
Yeah, he bends his bow and makes it ready. So
Yeah, Psalm 7.
yeah, so we should keep that in the front of our minds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're closing that holy distance, or the holy
Right.
distance is completely closed, I should say, in Christ.
Yes. But here in Exodus 19, it's being established that the way to close that holy distance is not something that you can bring forth, O Israel. You can't do this.
Yep.
You need this separation that God is making.
Yep.
Don't you go touch that mountain. It's not your doing that's going to remove the separation between God and you.
Yeah.
It's something that God is going to have to do.
Yeah, exactly. And the command, do not touch the mountain, is very similar to the command, do not eat the fruit.
Yeah, it's very similar.
And it's interesting to me that I don't think we have a record of anyone touching the mountain.
No, I don't think we do.
I don't think so.
We don't have anybody. At least we're not told if there's anybody who came up and tried.
I
to
think
do
we would
this.
we would be
They
told.
were warned very, very
They took
strongly.
God
Don't.
seriously.
Yeah. It seems to me that Israel in this moment
Mhm.
obeyed in a way Adam didn't.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, and
that points forward to Christ and his obedience.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't be touching the mountain when all that smoke is pouring out of it and
I wouldn't either.
the trumpets are blaring and
Yeah, because on
sounds pretty terrifying to me.
yeah, like we read on the morning of the third day, this is verse 16, there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast so that all the people in the camp trembled.
A very loud trumpet blast. A trumpet.
Yeah, what? Trumpet?
And the
Trumpet.
sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder.
God
Yes.
has a trumpet.
Yeah,
Cool.
he does. Isn't there a trumpet blast at the end as well?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke.
Mhm.
That's not like the fog machines that you'll see in modern evangelical churches. That was actually
not?
like smoky and probably acidic to the senses.
Ah, this is, but yeah,
Yeah, dry ice gives you a
doesn't do
different
this.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. There's not Moses in the back with a fog machine like, well, right. Give me 4 chords of rock and roll. No, this is an entire mountain wrapped in smoke. Yeah, because it says in verse 18, Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because the Lord had descended on it in fire. So
Yeah.
he's burning like the burning bush. He's burning the entire mountain. And the smoke of it went up like the smoke of a kiln, and the whole mountain trembled greatly. So we've got a divine trumpet blast, we've got smoke, we've got lightnings and thunders, an earthquake. This kind of reminds me of the scene at the cross,
Mm-hmm.
where there's this big earthquake, the tearing of the temple curtain,
Yeah.
darkness for 3 hours. And the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. And as it grew louder, Moses spoke and God answered him in the thunder. I wouldn't be touching that mountain at all.
What a business that must have
Oh,
been.
man.
Oh,
Yes.
my.
Oh, my, indeed. This is just wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the Lord came down on Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain, and the Lord called to Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. So nobody's touching this mountain, but then the Lord calls Moses up, and Moses goes up. I would not be disobeying right now.
No.
No, this is a bad time for a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of those cases where Moses goes up and down.
Yeah.
The Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people.
Yeah, Moses went up, and the Lord said to Moses, go down.
You couldn't have told me that at the bottom. Yeah. Lest they break through to the Lord and look, and many of them perish.
So maybe they were very sorely tempted while Moses went up that mountain.
Maybe I can.
Maybe I can. Maybe.
So there's this language of the breakthrough. They're going to break through to the Lord, and then he would break out against them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. It's almost like plague language. A plague breaks out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Aaron's supposed to come with him. And
Yeah.
Aaron is the figurehead of the new priesthood.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he talks about consecrating the priesthood in verse 22.
Yeah, but the priests still aren't allowed to touch the mountain. Only Aaron's allowed to come up.
Yep. Yeah.
So even the priests are unholy, even though they consecrate themselves.
Yeah, and that's a thing too that we find in Hebrews, where talking about the impermanence of the Aaronic priesthood.
Yeah.
The priest daily must offer sacrifice for himself.
Yeah.
Right. So
Aaron and Moses together are representing Christ.
yeah. And then Moses goes down and tells the people.
Yeah.
Man, this guy's putting on his
Yeah.
steps. So
Yeah.
should we wrap up our
I think so.
our discussion here, and we'll get to the 10 Commandments on the next one?
Yeah, I think maybe we could do that.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so the some principal themes here. The holiness of God is dangerous for unholy men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ makes us able to approach God's holiness.
Yes, and that approach is one that is made at the summons of God and in the ways in which he ordains,
Yeah.
not by our graspings or
Our pagan rituals.
Yeah, we do not ascend to God. He calls us into his presence.
He graciously meets with us.
Yeah, this is really a fantastic scene.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, so we have the beginning of Presbyterianism and the beginning of the covenant.
the first worship service after the beginning of Presbyterianism.
Yeah, so I'd just like to point that out with chapter 18 and Jethro.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that we should cover in this chapter before we sign off?
I think that's about it.
Yeah, let me just read this again from Ezekiel
Yes.
chapter 16, where the Lord had taken this cast off infant wallowing in their own blood. When I passed by you and saw you wallowing in your blood, I said to you in your blood, live. I said to you in your blood, live. I made you flourish like the plant of a field, and you grew up and became tall and arrived at full adornment. Your breasts were formed and your hair had grown, yet you were naked and bare. When I passed by you again and saw you, behold, you were at the age for love, and I spread the corner of my garment over you and covered your nakedness. I made my vow to you and entered into a covenant with you, declares the Lord God, and you became mine. This was what was going on at Sinai. This is what was going on there. That was where God made his covenant official with Israel. So it's like a wedding.
And this is not just the history of the ethnic Jewish people. This is our history.
Yeah.
The history of the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been our delight to spend some time with you all in Exodus. And we hope that the Lord will take this and use it in your life. May you have a blessed day and walk with God, please. Farewell.